Hello, everyone. Joining me now, Steve DeLee with the Mackinac Center for Public Policy. A big case that was filed, a big suit that was filed against Michigan State University involving FOIA, freedom of information, and transparency. Steve, tell us what this is about, because this is a big deal.
Sure, I'm happy to do that. So earlier in this year, it came to light that there's some land near MSU, some currently farmland, being considered for a Michigan Innovation Campus, an economic development mega site. And we wanted some more information about that. So we filed a FOIA request for the underlying agreements between a local farmer who had donated the land to MSU and the university itself to see, does the university have the authority to actually sell this land? There was some question about whether the agreements allowed for that. And so we tried to get a hold of those agreements.
Yeah, and that's really what we do at the Mackinac Center. We're about bringing, transparency, holding officials accountable. We just wanted to review the information. It was simple as that, correct?
Well, that was the theory. When we got the documents back, it turned out that MSU had redacted large portions of the agreement that we were looking to actually get. So this is it right here. And you can see just how much has been redacted.
Wow. Okay. Why is this important? I know the importance of this, but transparency is important to everyone, I would imagine, no matter what political aisle you're on.
Well, this is important for a number of reasons. One, these are public records. These are the public's documents. We should be able to access those records in a relatively easy and cheap manner. More specifically to this request, this is a huge project. I believe it's 1,400 acres that's currently all farmland. This is especially to the local people who live in these areas, talking about transforming the entire nature of their community. And so that interest is so high, whether you like mega sites or don't like mega sites, people should be able to know what's going on and what the legal authority is surrounding them.
What triggered the lawsuit? What got you and the Mackinac Center interested in that? What triggered this?
Sure. So someone had reached out to our media outlet, Michigan Capital Confidential, and suggested that we look into this. Mega sites are obviously something we follow already, and we really wanted to check whether the university did, in fact, have the authority to sell this land in the way it was saying it did.
Why do you think MSU's response was wrong? I mean, what you showed us on the screen is basically just a whole blacked out sheet right there.
Well, there's a couple of reasons why we think it's wrong. One, I don't think the terms of a legal agreement are necessarily private information. And even if there is some private information in here, the university had a duty to separate what's private from what's not. And this pretty clearly showed that they didn't. The other main reason we think it's inappropriate is when you talk about privacy for purposes of the Michigan Freedom of Information Act, it's a balancing test. Is this private information so confidential that it outweighs the public interest in knowing what's in this document? Or is the public interest so important that almost no privacy interest will justify the redaction? Here, we think the public interest is so tremendously important that almost any redaction on privacy grounds necessarily fails.
Well, the question would be then, why would Michigan State University withhold this data?
That's a really hard question to answer. There's a couple of things that could be the case. One is the university simply thought that that's how the exemption should be properly applied. They were concerned about the information about the donor, and so they redacted it. If that's the case, I think they went a little bit overboard. They could just simply have misapplied the exemption. They may not have realized how broadly they were applying it, and we can have a discussion with the university, and maybe we'll get unredacted documents that way. And then, of course, maybe they just incorrectly applied the exemption because the information in there is damaging in some way. We really have no clue between any of those options until we get the actual underlying record.
And my last question, what is the next step in this process?
Well, a lot of that's up to the university. So if the university were to approach us and provide the records, we would probably end the suit, make those records public, and that would resolve things. If the university wants to fight us on this, that's fine. We'll argue in court about whether the redactions were appropriate, and that'll probably take 6 months to a year.
And this goes to show, this started with just a regular citizen getting a hold of us. And that's why it's so important for people who are watching. If you have concerns, go ahead and message us, because we fight for the people of Michigan. And it was one person who reached out to us, and look where we are now.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Steve DeLee, for joining us. We're going to keep an update on this. And we also have, let me bring it up here on the website, and you can show, I'm going to show this right here. Explain what we have here. This is on our website, and this is basically talks about the case step by step.
Correct. So for all of the lawsuits that the Mackinac Center does, we'll put up a case page like this. And not only will we summarize what's going on, but as you can see now, we actually link the documents. You can read our complaints. We can show you the requests and what we got back and the exhibits. And so if you're ever interested in one of our cases, or this case or anything else that we do, check out this website. You can really see some very detailed information about what's going on in real time.
Okay, I will put a link to that in the video, and I really appreciate you taking the time.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Dave.